Buenos días, vengo como emisario del equipo Stones Serpents. Sean todos bienvenidos. En este momento me encuentro en Kuşadası, Turquía, en la misión de reconocimiento y scouting de locaciones para la expedición oficial del equipo ESANES de este 2026, que da inicio en los próximos meses. Hemos elegido este lugar como punto estratégico para detenernos a organizar material recogido en Estambul y Capadocia en las semanas previas. Nos encontramos en un punto crucial de esta partida avanzada, a punto de dirigirnos hacia el este, tierra adentro, hacia uno de nuestros objetivos principales, la anciana ciudad de Pérgamo, o Pérgama como el nombre moderno, donde nuestra misión es atender a una serie de reuniones claves para preparar la llegada del equipo audiovisual y gestionar los correspondientes permisos y cordialidades necesarias previas a que las cámaras estén rodando. Así estamos actuando como mensajeros y embajadores del equipo Stones Serpents, además de continuar documentando con equipo ligero de cámaras de video y fotografía en terreno. Hemos aprovechado también esta instancia de reagrupación y calma para crear este comunicado. Muchas gracias por escuchar. A continuación les presentamos nuestra más reciente entrevista y conversación con el Dr. Ammon Hillman, filólogo clásico, profesor de griego antiguo y autor, quien es un miembro activo de nuestro equipo, actuando como consultor y compañero en el camino, para siempre mantener la fidelidad a las fuentes originales. Hoy junto a Ammon apuntamos la búsqueda hacia Asia Menor, hacia Frigia y sus modos, hacia qué nos muestra el texto original en relación a la influencia del este, cómo se referían a este fenómeno en la Grecia antigua, las Bacchae de Eurípides, grupos de mujeres en un éxtasis báquico que les concedía visión, fuerza física y conocimiento práctico a través de la posesión por la deidad. La palabra es bachewo. Aún no hay consenso en la academia sobre su origen. ¿De dónde viene este conocimiento y cuál es su legado? Ese es el centro de lo que hoy presentamos. Bienvenidos a History is Inquiry.
Now, what's going on in Turkey? You're going there.
Yes, I'm going Saturday. But it wasn't planned like that. But I guess I just had to. I have to make it before, as I was thinking. You know, I was thinking that I was going August. But then an opportunity came, so I was just like, I took it and I'm flying Saturday. And what I'm doing in Turkey is we are seeing location. We call it locacionar, which will be like you go to locations.
Where, I mean, there's lots of places you can go.
Okay.
So do you have like a few top choices that you're looking at? You know, what have you scouted so far?
Okay, so like in reality, or you mean in the conversation?
No, just in the places that you're going to in Turkey.
Okay, so I'm arriving to Istanbul Monday. I'm traveling Saturday and I'm arriving fucking Monday.
Okay.
So it's you know, it's like It's not like first class shit.
That's a long ass flight. That's a long flight.
I'm gonna be traveling the world and then Istanbul, and I'm gonna know a bunch of new airports. But anyways, I'm gonna be staying in Istanbul for the whole month. So from there, I'm going to be moving around. I'm gonna have a flat there in Istanbul. But I've been planning, and it's not difficult. So I can move around whatever place I want. We choose Istanbul because it's like the place that I'm gonna be staying is like I'm arriving to the Bosphorus, like just it will be like in fucking 5 minutes from me
Yeah.
to walk,
Yeah.
And so I'm starting there. And
Oh God, can you just stop?
yeah.
Let me just say, I am so envious. This is like a dream. Like this is for you to do this. This is like it's a real privilege, and it sounds I mean, like I envy you. That's all I can say is I envy you. Okay, so you're gonna base yourself in Istanbul, right?
But for you to know, Ammon,
Yeah.
this is the crazy. I've been in like 20 or so countries in like my life, but this is the crazy shit I've ever done. I mean, my founding is not with me now, that will happen after. So
Okay.
I'm doing this shit like you couldn't believe. Like I don't even have, dude, I have a place till Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm working with some people over there, but you have to be negotiating all the
Yeah.
time, and this
Yeah.
will be like, and
Okay, where are you gonna head to? Where are some of the places that you want to hit? Have you looked anything up, or
yes,
can I just start throwing things at you?
well, that would be amazing, but this is there's a point in the map which is Toran. You remember Toran? You knew him. I mean, you met him in one of our conversations when we were
Yes.
last year. He left Malta after this
Uh,
project, bro. And he's living in Lesbos. Um,
oh,
the experience for him in Samothrace was so fucking hard, like strong for him. Like
yeah.
he lived, I mean, he changed his life. He's living there. I was talking with him now, and so Lesbos is like right there in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
west coast of Turkey, is
Yep.
far away from Istanbul, but of course I'm gonna head that direction, which
Yeah.
covers a bunch of good stuff,
Yeah.
in the west side of Turkey.
Yes.
And it's like straight line towards Pérgamo, Lesbos. Well, you have the other islands there, of course,
Yeah.
Lemnos and well,
Yep.
some place in the north.
You have to go to Pergamum. You
Yeah,
have to go to Pergamum.
well, I
Just
mentioned.
because that's where the throne of the devil is, right?
Mhm.
So you have to go there. Absolutely. Oh God. So okay, keep going. What else have you
Okay.
been looking at?
Well, that will be my big fucking how you call it, dissertation now.
Okay.
Because I'm so worried right now to
Yeah.
me to be able to go and take the plane that I have a bunch of ideas, but I need to settle myself for 5 days in Istanbul,
Yeah.
gather my stuff, and have a meeting that I have to have over there with a person that I know, which is helping me with the renting of place and everything, because
Mhm.
I will not do Airbnb,
Right.
I pay
Right. Right.
fucking 2,000 euros for 2 weeks. So,
Yeah. No. Crazy.
so I'm doing that, but for that I need to be a couple of days to have some meetings over there, and it's people that I'm actually making engage with the project, and even they will probably have a part on it. But I have to have the meeting, and then I will be able to. Okay, guys, I have to do this and that and that. I have this map right here. I'm going to Lesbos at some point. I'm going to Pérgamo, and from here to here, we have a bunch of things happening. If I keep going south, well, you know, the whole West Coast.
It's all over the place. No, there's so many places you can go. I wanted you to be able to track the Equidna and go to because her worship is at Heracles, which is Pamukkale, modern day Pamukkale. Let me pull up here. Anyway? All of this is accessible. I traveled Turkey myself to a lot of these sites, and I'm telling you, all of this stuff is accessible if you can get a rental car. Will you be able to get a rental car during this whole time?
Yes, of course.
And you're comfortable driving long distances?
I will have a very good driver if I have to find one.
Okay.
Like last time. And if I have to do that, I will do it. I mean, I'm going to be alone I told you that I'm going to be alone, but when I'm arriving, I'm actually with one person. And I don't know till when he's going to be with me, but it's helping me to make the whole thing, you know. So yeah, I have a person that will drive. It will not be me. So I mean, that's not a problem. That's the way you have to do it.
I need you.
I mean, without a car, it will be impossible. Like last year, the truck was everything.
I need you to go to Pamukkale. Hey, Chewy, give me the sharing option. Can I share my screen? Is it under chat? No, share. There it is. Here. Let me see. I want to put this up there. Can I put this up there? Just share it. Thanks. It's right here. Bam. So she's got to send you a request for me to share. And then you have to accept it.
Ready?
And then show this right here. Right here. Boom. Just share it. Go. Okay, so this is where you must go. This is where you must go. It's Pamukkale in Turkey. And I need you to, it's where all the history of the Equidna comes from. It's like her central, there's a temple there. There's, you can see the ruins now, and you'll get the feel for what an ancient city was like. But it's in the caves in this area where she practiced as the priestess, as the Echidnic priestess. And it was the apostles who were involved in taking her down and destroying the temple. It was the apostles who did that because she was the true, source of the communion. So as Christianity was spreading, it actively fought against this Echidnic priestess. And this priesthood is part of the, in the Apocrypha, I can show you where it talks about the wars between the Christians and the priest of the serpent, the priestess of the serpent here. Anywho, it's in the caves though. There's lots of ruins for you to investigate and educate yourself with, but the reality is in the cave.
Can you give me the name again?
Yeah, Pamukkale. Let me show you. Hang on. Golly. Right, it's Turkish now.
Okay. Oh, it was not that one. Pamukkale.
Here we go. Let me see if they've got. Here's the map. If you can see my screen,
yes.
From the satellite, you can see roughly where it is. Right, you're still in Western Turkey.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so, but these drives are ridiculously far. right? So get used to it. And the train is not. I don't know. From since you're living and working in Chile, I don't think that it's going to be anything different from what you're
Yeah.
used to,
For us, it's
right?
not like straight one side or straight the other side. It will be 1,000 kilometers at least
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. So here's some of they have this like national park there where they have these kind of special water reservoirs that are it's a big deal. They'll tell you about the baths and you can't go into them. There's only a part of them that you can go into, but the mineral composition in these waters and everything is off, it's off the charts weird, and the water is pristine. The water is pristine. So it's a national park, but you'll go to see, you can see the place where the apostles fought with the priests, the Ophite priests there, and who were following Equidna. And the exact place they fought in, you can see it. So you're not, the myth about the area is that Echidna is functioning out of the caves. So if you went there, I would say you have to go do the touristy thing and see the site for what it is, but realize there's something in the caves. I don't know, something for you to investigate, maybe.
But the thing is, like for you to know the mechanics, I will go there.
Uh-huh.
I will not make the mistakes I did last year. I will know every kind of permit I need. If I want to go like
Yeah.
forward, if I want to go with a camera, can I make an interview? Can I, I will do all of that. I have a month or so, like a month and 10 days to like be able to actually coordinate everything for after. So when I do the touristic stuff, but I know that it's possible to go further with it, especially with cameras. And somebody will give you an interview that's not difficult and probably will be very, you know, superficial touristic info. But anyways, that's cool because we can make parallels of how deep the actual stuff that was happening there is, and how superficial it is what you will get as a tourist.
Yes, and you found that in the first time that you went. You know that there's
Yeah,
one world to see, and then underneath that, there's something else that your tourists are not going to go
yeah,
be involved in. Something about the mountains with their caves in this region, right? This whole place is built up. I don't know if you can still see it, but the
yeah.
whole place this is a sophisticated operation. This ancient city is no joke. Okay. And it has temples, right? And those temples are dedicated to the Echidna. Those are what the Christians are overturning. That's what they are trying to destroy. And there is described in the ancient text, there is described the descendants of the priestess of the Echidna herself. Her descendants are there, and the Christians wipe out all of them, right? And it has to do with chemical warfare. It's poisoning, paralysis, right? People are up in arms because this is a civilized locality. Heracles is this is you know there's a lot of things going on a large scale that you don't understand.
Mhm.
So, and not only that, but the drug trade, everything. This people talk about these areas of what is modern day Western Turkey, and they don't realize that it wasn't just that the Greeks came in at a certain period and took over. You don't understand. This is where Homer is from. This is where Herodotus is from, right?
Can you,
He
Ammon, please,
said, right?
you make yourself big?
hmm
You make
Oh, can I? Oh, here, let me stop sharing. Oh, let me stop shouting. Joey, Get over here. Sorry. I am so.
Yeah, it's the
I am
same for me. Don't worry. Same for me.
boom. Look, if I start clicking, it just destroys it. Just take off the sharing and get me big. So there's two levels you're going to have to deal with there. The touristy level, and I want you to go see all of these buildings, and I want you to put it into perspective that way through the tourist kind of thing. But I don't. But then there's something else going on in the background, and that's where I think the caves, all of the prophecy. Okay, I'm just going to tell you this. You're the researcher. You just have to do with it what you want. But the prophecy that the Echidnic priesthood is part of is coming from the caves. And the language that's coming out of it is important. So, for example, Medea is herself giving prophecy from Thera. She's doing that there in Dorian, right? So the Echidnaic priesthood has got to be using the Dorian. What about in Turkey? What about on the west coast of Turkey? Are they using the Dorian there? Is the cult taking the Dorian with it? Is it part of the cult practice to transplant their own music? And it's not language. It's not just language. It's music. When they're using the ancient Greek language, and you're talking about converting from Dorian to Ionian, which are
That's
both there in Turkey.
and that's exactly a question that I have here, which it means like when, well, we know like in music you have Ionian, you have Dorian, you have Aeolian, you have Phrygian, you have Locrian, and all these modes in music. Which,
Yeah.
when you're saying Dorian, she was using Dorian,
Yeah.
Ionian, or Phrygian. So
Yeah.
um, when we refer to these words, or what are we referring to? It's like a location. It is a form of a language.
Yeah, it's the sound. It's the sound, the music that the Greek is making. So the difference between Greek and everything else in the region is that Greek is musical. Every other language is barbarian. They're non-musical. So there are notes in the Greek. The Dorian notes are different. It's using a different, I don't know what you call it, a scale. It's using a different mode. Is that what they're calling them? Modes, right?
which is all of them comes from the, well, a way that I understand it is like everything comes from a main one, which will be Ionian, and you will take the Ionian, and you will have in the notes that compose the Ionian scale, it will have alterations. So if it has, in the second note, it is like for example, if it has like another interval, it will become another scale, another mode, which is not like a random. Each
Right.
scale will have two alterations to the Ionian scale. So it is going to have a different sound. I mean, it is completely different. If you play
So
a Phrygian sound, it will sound very, what you might call now Arabic. It will sound completely different, and you are just changing two notes in the Ionian major scale, which is the Ionian like mode, which is the major scale, let's say.
Okay, so you just said exactly what's going on geographically as well, because
Okay.
they're using the Ionian, right? The Dorian is a is a change that changes, and you would understand this, the mood, the characteristic mood of the song. So when they are giving oracles in Dorian, it is because they're capitalizing on the whatever sound, whatever unique scale is being used. So your Dorian mode versus your Ionian, they sound different.
Yes.
In translation, my job,
Okay.
it comes across as the Ionian is intellectual and the Dorian is emotional and brooding. It's brooding. Ionian is very rationally optimistic. As a mode in the language, Ionian is very, all of the scientific arts, they're beginning with the Ionian. The Dorian is all songs of war and songs of mourning. You switch into this mode of it's like you're mourning somebody's death.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what you're saying makes complete sense. I mean, if we had now, we'll do it, editing, man. We'll show the scales. If you hear the Ionian, which is the major scale, is the happiest thing ever.
Is it? Okay.
If you change in the 7 notes that it has, you change 2 of them, it will become something different. And if you want to make it sound Dorian, it will have a sound which is, it has not absolutely sure, but it has a minor third, which it will give you like a sound which is like more sad. But at the same time, Dorian will have a major 6, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever, it doesn't matter about the intervals. But that makes it sound like more sad, but at the same time with a bit of optimism. You know, it's like truly like Jimi Hendrix will use it all the time. That one, he loved the Dorian mode. And if you go Aeolian, you have a minor scale, but it will be like straight, more not happy. You know, if you go Phrygian, it will be completely some dissonant stuff that now we will say is like an Arabic flavor to it. You know?
Bacchic. The Phrygian is described as Bacchic. As a matter of fact, some people have proposed that Bacchewo, it's not Greek, that it's originally Phrygian. The possessed worshippers of the Great Mother, right? That Rhea, it's the Greek Rhea. Rhea is the nurse of Bacchus, right? That Phrygian Great Mother ecstatic worship that's Bacchic, that kind of nurses Bacchic worship, that's coupled with the music that you could say it's almost, you said dissonant. I would say, yeah, dissonant and scattered.
And I mean, when we say Phrygian, in this context, I understand we're talking about the language and the way we're actually saying that this is the way the language is spoke, or it has to do more like in a ritual
right.
kind of setup, you know?
No, right. Just exactly what you said. Here's the thing. You said there are 7 notes. You're talking about the 7 notes. The reason they've got the 7 is because those are vowels. They've taken notes and turned them into vowels. Right? And these are canonical. And for some reason, they go on. I don't know why. They go on about the heptachord all the time. Heptachord, heptachord, heptachord. That's where everything is. So that they're big on that number 7, to the extent that when we have the woman of Revelation holding in her hand the 7 stars, nobody is confused. Nobody is confused, because everything we're doing when we speak, you asked when we speak, everything we're doing when we speak is music. Everybody else is barbarian. When those fucking Thracians talk, it's barbarian. It is not melodic. There's no melody. And because of this, I just read this 3 or 4 days ago. Because of this, they say there's no harmony. The music of the Greek language brings harmony. The barbarian languages have no harmony because they've got no music. So it's a phenomenon that I think you may be able to find there, because you're going to, like, if you go down the Ionian coast, you're going to see all the places. You're going to be surprised at the technical achievement. And I want you to keep in your mind while you're looking at this, when you go to Pérgamo too, when you go to Pérgamo and you see the level of technical achievement, because you're going to go to the temple of Asclepius, right, which has its own library, which has its own tradition of being the best trauma surgeons of the entire Mediterranean. That's Pérgamo. That's what they're known for. So when you see that there, I think it's going to, I want you to keep in your mind that it's coming from the language. There's something special that they're doing with the language. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you can flush that out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find a way. Well, but this idea of the heptachord, can you elaborate, like, in a nutshell? What have you found about this heptachord? What are they talking about, like the heptachord? What this will? Yeah.
The 7 strings bring to you the perfect proportions. That's how they're talking. And the music of the cosmos. The cosmos is the organization of everything around you, whether visible or invisible. It's like the master physics. The cosmos, which is set in harmony, can be expressed through that ratio, through that, which is how they're talking about the music all the time, through that ratio that this heptachord brings. And it's the perfection. And it's supposed to be some sort of, the place that you go when you walk into a temple of Apollo and know that you're supposed to be recognizing who you are, that, like, investigator of the cosmos, somehow that 7-string instrument with its proportion is supposed to be able to.
Hello, crew. Greetings from the road. I just wanted to communicate that we just opened our Stones and Serpents Patreon. We are now constantly uploading different audiovisual materials. Some are free and some are not. We are sharing SNS behind the scenes, raw footage of the current Eastern expedition, official soundtracks, and even collections of future productions like shortcuts and documentaries. Finally, I would like also to encourage all of you to become a part of the Explorer chat. It's free and gives us a good platform to engage in research. Please feel free to scout the different modalities, from free member to an Explorer membership or Territory Explorer, or even a Pathfinder membership where we can co-produce and open a direct contact with the SNS production board to even create new projects and to do what we all love the most, to explore new territories. We're an independent production company and this is part of our organic growth. So we deeply appreciate your support. Thank you all. And again, greetings from the crew.
Amazing. Okay. I'm taking notes now. Not like last time that we're getting everything.
Don't. No, here. We got to stay in closer communication the whole time. Listen, because this is fascinating what you're doing, by the way. So I'm grateful to be able to be a part of it. And I hope that you're able to work with Equidna too a lot. I hope you're able to get that off the ground. I need to get you a translation of the Acts of Philip, because in that it talks about the war with the Equidna priesthood, and it'll give you clues,
Mhm. Would you
clues
say,
about the area. Hmm?
and would you say, Amon, that will be like good, um, like that will be the mission? I mean, I'm thinking about like we're going Turkey. I know that if you go mainstream information, of course, it's related with everything we're recording for the documentary. But I was not completely sure about like right now for me it's new that you are saying Equidna priesthood comes from that side. So could you elaborate in that? Like, what it will be the Achaemenid priesthood? Why can we know that comes from some part, or what the sources are saying about it?
Yeah, so in the Acts of Philip, for example, Philip the Apostle goes with Miriam and Bartholomew, another apostle, right? And as they are what you think of as spreading the gospel, they are spreading a mystery cult that runs right up against another already established mystery cult. That mystery cult already has temples. They already have priesthoods associated with those temples. One of them has a priesthood with descendants of the Equidna herself as citizens of the city. And they're also guardian, they also police the city. But they very infamously use blood within their rites. And they're known to be hostile. They're known to be hostile. They have the same xenophobia. You're going to find this in the history of all the places you're going in Turkey. Okay, they have a history of xenophobia. If you just go to the top of the Black Sea, you're no longer in Turkey, but you're up there in an area that is kind of it's where we're getting all the Greek worship of Diana, who is Eosphoros, the dawn bringer. She's the Eohiwaira or Eohiira in Attic, the one who pours the poison. So that worship of the cult mystery up on the Black Sea is connected with this, just like I told you before, this Bacchic great mother worship, this ecstatic hunting. It's human hunting. When foreigners come to them, they kill them, right? And they don't just eat them, they use them in their ceremonies, right? They use their blood. Why? Now, remember, you think it sounds like these are savage people, right? Oh, God, these people, savages. No, they're the ones with the temples. They're the ones with the language that is music.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, the worship of Diana up north of Turkey and across the Black Sea, in the Chersonese, is the place that we're going to find the Greek is already there. So all I'm saying is all the places you're going in Turkey, don't think for a minute that they aren't speaking Greek.
Mhm.
Okay?
And if you even if you just see it like geographically, it makes sense that it will be that way. If you just see the Black Sea and the way it's shaped and how it connects and kind of permeates like naturally, even like just with the sea itself is connected from Black Sea and towards the actually the Bosphorus, the same place that I'm going to be staying, is like a connection with the Mediterranean. And but Ammon, what, just to keep going in that topic, because I think I didn't have it here in my outline, but I think like it's important to go on it. Is like, what is the Equidna? What is it?
Yeah, she's the okay. She is the virgin viper. She is the oracle that was visited by Hercules. And Hercules had a relationship with her that she forced upon him because she had taken his horses. Right? Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like Odysseus a little bit? Right? Here's this woman who is taking advantage of this big Greek hero. He can't leave her. She forces him to stay with her, right? Won't give him back his horses, right? And until he consummates, a relationship with her. So we have the same thing going on in the Odyssey. If you just switch Circe, it's the same individual, right? Because she's known for what she's known. I'm telling you, there is a huge pharmaceutical industry that is rising in the late Bronze Age, and it alone is responsible for the majority of the technical language that the Greek is spitting out. All of those sciences, all of those related little scientists, and Democritus, and all those little, that's all bubbling out of this particular cult. That's why I'm telling you, the Echidna cult is so important. She is the viper virgin. Right? The viper virgin.
And so I had this idea of, for all the conversations we've had in the past, and also as I'm trying to understand all of this, that seems to be this Eastern influence kind of thing. Even once we were talking about Euripides and how this Eastern stuff is coming towards the Aegean, let's say, just to frame it in a geographical thing that we can understand. And so would you say that all of this that we are talking, because when you say the top of the Black Sea, okay, north, but at the same time it seems to be like this Eastern influence, when we were talking about the cult of the Great Mother in another conversation we had. So what would you say about this? Can we say there is something that we can call an Eastern influence on all of this Greek that we are having as sources now?
Yeah, definitely. It's eat my pussy. Heracles is with his boys. We have initiates already through the boys. There's no reason for Heracles to be involved with the Viper Virgin. She is a minor. She's a youth. She's somebody who's in the bloom, constantly in the bloom. That is what makes you immortal. That's why they call it ambrosia, because the substance they're giving you is causing your bloom to never go away. It is
So can I interrupt you
extending.
just for a second? Just for a
Yeah.
second. So when we say that, it's like the knowledge of pharmakeia that they had. They were able to actually like make some reaction on the body of this girl to
Correct.
extend that state.
Correct. It is a life-saving product that comes from the Viper Virgin. This is a cult that has discovered for centuries, has discovered the art of the venoms. So we have the venoms and we can create anti-venom. We can balance, we can find a balance, right? So they're doing that with her. We have an instrument now that's a pharmacological instrument. And through that Viper Virgin, we have the communion that is life. That's why we eat her flesh and drink her blood.
So when you say like eat my pussy, you mean like this was like when we see appearing this figure of this priesthood of women knowledge and these oracles.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. You don't have
That
the oracles.
Eastern influence.
Yes, you don't have the oracles without this influence. When the Echidna priestess, who you're going to go see her place, when the Echidna priestess is there in the east meeting the Western Heracles with his temples where their mystery is with little boys, the chemistry that he's working on is all coming from the east. That's all. He knows that. He knows that. That's why the only woman allowed into the mysteries of Heracles is Medea. That's stated. That's stated. Late Bronze Age. The only one. There she is, Medea. Right? So that Echidna priestess is everything. She's the first Christ. Right? This is an art that has figured out how to take a human and turn them into the expression of ambrosia to give you the medicine of life, right? You could even call it the water of life, right? And people in the cult would know because they had been initiated. They have seen the virgin. You realize that's what they're saying at Eleusis. They have seen the virgin rise. Okay. Do you understand? Why is it considered a bridal? Why is it considered a bridal festival? Why is it a wedding? What does this have to do? It's because that water of life is produced by her. So you're going to see east and west when you go to Pamukkala. You're going to see east and west coming together. And
just like a technical question, when we say Asia Minor, we are talking about geographically to like south of this east, or what do you mean? Like I always hear this. This comes from Asia Minor. It's the same as it's coming from east, northeast, southeast.
Fucking Romans with their Asia Menor. They're just grouping like all of modern Turkey. They're just grouping it together in one region. The part that is sticking out, right, into the sea, Black Sea, and into the part of Asia. It's essentially the part of Asia that is sticking out into the Black Sea and into the Mediterranean. Right? That chunk of Greek-speaking land, right? Along with others, yes, there's other languages and whatnot, don't get me wrong. But that part, when you talk about ancient Greece, you're talking about the western coast of Turkey. That is ancient Greece. I'm sorry. You're going to notice. You're going to walk up and down. You just see the temples. You already know.
That's actually why I wanted to address this topic and actually this expedition with you now. I mean, thanks to all the research we have been doing with you, now we know that you talk about ancient Greece. We of course already know that you're not talking about modern Greece. You're talking about a big area that is like now modern Turkey. will be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And well, even as I'm taking notes of all the conversations we are having, and now we are heading towards that part of the world. Um, Also, like Cyprus came to like has appeared. Not, I mean, modern Cyprus will be probably like part of ancient Greece also, kind of thing. Because
Oh, are you kidding? Definitely. Yeah. No, right. Central. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it seems to be like what I can relate with and the relation that I can do like quickly for what I've been hearing and researching is like Aphrodite is the idea of Aphrodite is very connected with it. And can you elaborate on that part? Because we're talking about Asia Minor for the Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Again, yeah, because yeah, you think is it Asia? Is it Europe? What is it? Okay. Um, the image that you should carry with you about Cyprus is that people would say that you could smell it before you could see it, right? The place where Aphrodite rules is fragrant. It smells. And the smell of the place makes people want to engage in intercourse, right? Sailors, this is where the sailors go to pay tribute to Aphrodite, right? This is and don't think that you're talking about that Western golden Aphrodite, because this Aphrodite is in the neighborhood of those cultures that are Amazonian driven, that they're influenced. I know they're north, but these cultures are influenced by that Eastern ecstatic mystery.
So
And
could we
Aphrodite is part, not just part, Aphrodite is the heart of that mystery. There is an Aphrodite who is an conglomerate of that wild Bacchic Phrygian mother,
okay, so
and that
if we're
golden
following,
Western, hang on, and that
sorry,
golden Western Aphrodite. She is a combination of the two of those. And
combination.
appreciating that will allow you to see why it is that sailors why does it sailors require the fumigation as a medical practice, and why it is that this Eastern Aphrodite insists that a woman at some time in her life be free to engage in intercourse with nobody that she knows, just a random good-looking sailor dude. That is not a right, but a religious responsibility that a woman should do. Do you hear how that's Amazonian? You know, that doesn't sound like, it sounds more Scythian than it does Greek. That's what I mean when I say that East meeting that West.
And that, yes, that was like so we can say that let's say we're following Equidna in tracing it. So we're talking about pretty much the same in different ways. Like we were just talking about Equidna. Now I mentioned to you Aphrodite, and it seems to be like we're talking about the same tech called probably a bit different from the north or mid modern day Turkey or south or Cyprus, which is south of Turkey. So we're talking about this same influence or not influence, or like practice knowledge that was happening all over that what Romans will call Asia Minor, or we're talking about different stuff.
No, we're talking again about the industry,
Mhm.
right? Don't look at the world as a fairy tale. Look at it as a practical place. I can't get my dick hard. What do I do? In the civilization that you just saw with that incredible architecture, what do I do if I'm there and I can't get an erection? Right? I go to the priestess. And what is she going to give me? She's going to give me an aphrodisiac. She's going to give me an aphrodisiac, right? That's how I know Aphrodite is from the drugs. Behind the cult
Mhm.
is the industry,
Okay, okay. So
right? And
yeah,
the echidna is the one who leads everything. She is the great mother of us all. Fuck you if you think otherwise. And if you're a stranger, we're going to kill you and we're going to eat you. Do you understand? That's why Heracles isn't even safe. He gets captured by the Amazonian queen. And what does she do with him? What do you think? She turns him into a sex slave, makes him dress like a woman, turns her on. Right? Right? And he's the strongest guy there. Do you know why? Because this cult is driven by an industry that is captured.
can we say that he was doing it willingly, or just as a golden nugget?
Yeah.
He was being a
Tech,
slave, or what?
you know, um, technically, I think it could be, it's punishment. It's viewed as punishment for something that he did, right? The cosmos has a way of getting you back. The Greek speaking world harnessed this and turned it into this like court of justice, an invisible court of justice that they write about all the time, that is run by these furies, right? And so part of what he's doing is working off blood guilt, is what they called it. And you'll notice there's these great descriptions of Circe causing pollution to be wiped out. It's a magical practice that only a sotera can do, only a savior can do. And again, that word savior in the Greek is from the pharmaceutical industry. Late Bronze Age. It's where all the tech is coming from.
So in a way, the questions I'm doing to you, like, okay, this is in the south, this is in the west, this is in the north, or whatever.
Mm.
So as we follow the tech, which will be the drugs, you don't need to say south, west, or you will see like what they have in common, which is like the use of these drugs, I guess, and
Um,
names are not that important. So I'm
yeah.
like, why? Because I'm like, in my obvious thought, like Equidna, Aphrodite, and well, you say like it's the same person, it's different. She's one is from the south, this is from another people, this is another. So, but what I'm getting is like, is, you say to me, okay, dude, they are like engaging and connecting with the
Yeah.
same, and what will be the thing that they will gather them all, even without even engaging in between. It will be these drugs, I guess.
How do you find the healing? It's a medical cult, right? How do you find the healing? It's the serpents on the staff, right? On the wrapping themselves around the implement of the physician. around the implement of the healer. How do you find the healing in this cult? Is it just sitting around? Oh God, I had a crazy trip and I was on drugs. No, it's not that at all. The fact is, there are actual products from an industry. The goal is not to find the drugs that were used. Anybody can do that, and that information has been there forever. It's not that.
But when you say industry,
it's the restatement. It's the restarting of the most powerful health-bringing drug source that humanity has known of. It's the source that started medicine itself. It's that water of life. It's that water of life that comes from that Equidna priestess. That's the discovery, is the actual tool that the industry is using. So it doesn't matter that we know all the drugs that they were involved with, and all the theriacs, the formulae are all there, right? And if you read them properly, according to the Orphic Vox, you not only do the formula have the theriac formula has also the formula for the death inducer. So,
industry.
yay.
That's what you mean about industry. Yeah.
A bonus for us. We can do that. But the thing is,
of course,
that's not the focus. The focus is her. She's the cup, right? Hercules is doing the same thing with his boys. He's doing the same thing. He's got an instrument that's being used. So my comment would be, hey, it's not about knowing which drugs to use. It's about knowing how to tune the person to the point where they become the instrument. They become the cup. It is her blood, right? They are actually putting viper bodies into their formulae, right? They're actually using the flesh, right? It's her blood, that virgin that is half virgin, half viper, right? It's her blood that is the product that gives us the life. So remember we talked about on one side kills and the other side gives life. That's the difference between the venom, right, and the anti-venom. It's that same contrast between the thanasimon, the death inducer, and its theriac, right? The thing that balances. Right. So the thing that balances is not just the formula, it's the girl. So you have to find her in Turkey. Good luck. Maybe she's hiding in the caves.
Yeah. And can we just switch up? I don't want to take like.
Yes, go ahead.
It's just like Well, by the way, yesterday show that you did,
Yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, did you?
It's like
Oh,
this
God.
show is going like it's like a late. It's like like a late show. Dude. Put it on a big
Okay.
screen and shit, and you just laugh and watch. Very amazing. Lovely.
I'm gonna have to. I'm trying to teach myself a lot of music because I'm so behind. You know what I mean? So I'm having to catch up. Okay, ask me something that I
yeah.
need to answer.
Let me close this. Okay. And this is like when in a conversation, not just one, a couple of them, you have mentioned this place of the throne of Satan. Can you elaborate? Because if we say like the throne of Satan, well, you will get the idea of a Christian idea or a Catholic idea or whatever. So what you mean that in Pergamum there is this throne of Satan? What you mean?
Yeah. What is a throne? First of all, to you who's not in a cult, it just means a chair that you sit on, right? To me, I've been initiated, right? And not just in one, but in several of the mysteries. And I know what a throne is because I use the same vocabulary. I have ears to hear. right? That throne is the natural source of the God's voice. Okay, let me say that again. The throne is the natural source of the God's voice. When you are sitting on the throne, you are the vessel for the God. You hear the God's voice. Do you understand? The throne is the natural conduit. For example, I, as a magus, can make for you a polythronic device, right? Many-throned. I'm going to take many gateways of nature and put them together for you so that you can act, you can sit on that throne and hear the voice of God. Okay? The Orphic Vox that was Otto Kern discovered. It wasn't anybody out modern. The Orphic Vox is capturing that very unheard language. So the drugs coming from the plants that are those gateways to the voice, those can be tuned in a polythronic compound. Do you understand? The throne of Satan is Pergamum. It was in Pergamum that Galen learned the priesthood that is the healing art of the mystery. Right? Galen was fucking manufacturing the theriac, making it personally for Marcus Aurelius. The only reason that you have an archphysician, if you are a Roman emperor, the only reason you have an archphysician is to get access to the drugs that are part of the same industry that has been running everything from the Bronze Age, through medicine, through art. You talk about the fucking modern idiots from the Knights Templar and the goddamn, what are they called? Not sodomites. Ow! With the trying Masons. The Masons, right? And a bullshit. That is nothing. Those are little boys' clubs. Compared to the reality of an industry that is religious, that runs everything. The oracles are only there because they are agents of the industry. Right? It is a chemical religion. And it is what brought us salvation, the gospel. It's what brought us Christing. It's what brought us ionic life.
Mm-hmm. And why Ammon is like, it's not the throne. This is like specific throne of this specific Satan.
Yeah. The throne of Satan will be the choral opening. When you get enough of these sources together, you have a chorus. Right? We have references to the Bacchic chorus and what it does. This is not new technology, again, it's just tech. In order to regenerate the mystery, you have to have that Bacchic chorus. You have to have the assembling of a group of singers who become vessels of God. Do you know how to make a boy a vessel of God? Right? That's what the disciples are. Jesus is creating, he's using the same physics, right? Of the magos. He's using the very same physics. And this physics is coming out of that Amazonian woman-driven science that is crushing down on the Ionian language and that it's having to absorb. And the Dorian is defending it. Pergamum is the center. Pergamum is the place where all of that tension of the history with the language and with the art and the industry coming together forges that healing that is from Pergamum. That civilization produces the center of the world's healing. That's why, and it's Eastern, it is not Western, right? It is coming through that Amazonian, Scythian drug magic. The Christing is itself coming through that drug magic, and it's all industry, right? It's all, that's what the technology, the language, the specific language is coming from that industry. So the religion is the driving force of the oracles. It's pushing us toward democracy.
Amazing. And why do we choose the word Satan to relate it with it? The word
because the creation of the Bacchic chorus, which is the function of the mystery, is Saturnian. It is Saturnian. It's the whole mission of the golden age. I mean, even the Romans celebrate this whole boys' chorus and the whole rising of the sun. My God, man, bringers of dawn extraordinaire. And it is all over the place. Why? Because of this Bronze Age industry, this mystery. And this is a woman's tech. It's a female developed tech that males were able to take over and change, alter. And hence we've got Jesus with his children. I'm sorry, but that Korah is that virgin that we keep talking about is a virgin of somebody who is blooming. Their body is blooming, right? How is Medea described in Gaius Valerius Flaccus's Argonautica? And he has access to the Sibylline books. Not the things you call the oracles, the Sibylline books. He's got them. And he's one of the guardians, and he's the one who's pointing out, what is her age? When she is the woman who has to rescue the world, right? How old is she? It says she's not quite ready for marriage, but just on the cusp of it. So what, 12, 13, right? Affected by the drugs in a way that she is more fierce than anyone around, using the drugs in a way that make her the complete, you can't get away with shit. She's going to take Hercules, who's all muscle. She's going to take him down just like these other women are doing. That's the East. That's part of what I think Junius is trying to resurrect.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing album, though.
Y creo que al final lo que vamos a terminar encontrando y lo que vamos a terminar pudiendo investigar va a ser bastante de acuerdo a lo que estamos buscando.